And welcome back to the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. We have with us on this line on this particular day a young lady who comes to us by way of Texas Southern University. She is now serving as the head softball coach for the Lady Tigers as I present to some and introduce to others none other than Miss Raven Rodriguez. Hello, ma'am, and how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine. Welcome to the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the Mike Prince Show. You are, as they would say, filling in some big shoes, but I understand that you got pretty big feet yourself to walk right on in, and that replacing Coach Barker from Texas Southern. First of all, congratulations. And what was it like when you really got the final nod that you would be the next one to take over?
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And when I got the final nod, obviously the first thing was a little bit of shock and excitement and just a little bit of kind of, oh my goodness. But I think Coach Barker just created such a great stepping stone for me, and he helped me so much and taught me so much from the program. And so, there's not really much to change because he started such a great program and won a lot whenever he was there. So he was a great person to be mentored by.
Absolutely. Now, when you're sitting in the co-pilot's chair and you see a whole bunch of things, boy, if I ever become the pilot, I would do this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Had you seen anything that you know that would help tweak what you were learning from Coach Barker that you would try to implement now that you're actually in that pilot's seat, or is it like keeping things steady and keep things on course as it's been?
Right now, I came from a different program, and Coach Tony was very open to just our communication was just so great that I would just give him some information that we did maybe and help. We were able to change a lot whenever I was there, and we were just worked so well together in communication, and that he was so open to changing things to help the girls, and I was the same way. So with that, we changed a lot whenever we were working together, and I was the co-pilot, as you'd say.
Absolutely. Now, for those who might not be aware of who Coach Tony was, and forgive me for not leading into this, give us your story on how you landed at Texas Southern.
Well, I was actually recruited by Coach Barker whenever I was in high school and all that stuff, and he kept me whenever I was playing in college. My cousin was actually playing at Texas Southern whenever I was playing somewhere else, and so she was there, and she kept in touch with me through Coach Barker and stuff like that. And so when I was ready to come back to Houston, I got in contact with him and was curious if he was looking for a grad assistant. And with my luck, he was. And we talked a little bit before, and he brought me on, and then that was that.
Okay, now you're being very modest right now because you attended University of Texas at Tyler, and you had a very successful run yourself, won a championship, and was very, let's say, dependent upon on the team that you were part of. And when did you realize that coaching was in your blood?
Well, a lot of just going back in the summers and kind of helping out other select coaches and coach them. And then also whenever I was playing in college, I had to do an internship, and I got the opportunity to kind of be a student assistant at TJC under Coach Wynn. And that's kind of when that opened my eyes to the college world of coaching. And she taught me a lot there as well, and it kind of opened my eyes and just really led me in that path of, I think this is exactly what I want to do, and this is exactly, it's been my whole life, so why not help and try to make other girls better and love it just as much as I do.
For those who are not aware what TJG stood for, that was for Tyler Junior College. They also had a very strong program, Region 14, if I'm not mistaken. So you've been accustomed to winning. You've been accustomed to having success in just about everything you touch. We would refer to that as the Midas touch. When you now have the opportunity of picking up a program that has been very accustomed to having success. In fact, 10 or 11 consecutive Western Division titles under the leadership of Barker out of 15 years of service. That's almost unheard of. Do you feel the pressure of continuing to carry that legacy on, or are you kind of walking into this saying, I have to be my own person?
I mean, I definitely feel the pressure a little bit, but I mean, also the same as I have to be my own person and just kind of trust what I've learned from Coach Barker and how the program has been winning every chance that they get, and they definitely take advantage of it. And you can definitely tell all the hard work that's put in. So trusting myself and trusting that Coach Barker trusted me to kind of take over the program, as well as Granger and the other staff at Texas Southern, and just trusting me that ready to help take these girls to a winning title as well.
We're on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union hotline with head softball coach of the Texas Southern Tigers, Coach Raven Rodriguez. Now, when you look at this situation that you have now, and it's always easier on the outside looking in, what have you learned in your first few weeks of being at the charge of this program? Some things that you were not aware of that you had to learn real quick?
Well, it's definitely on the opposite side of the softball side, the learning the business, more of the business side of being a head coach. That's definitely been a big change for me, and a lot of learning, but also being the head of just a big group of girls. I mean, I was always on the sidelines, and I didn't really kind of handle any kind of the one-on-ones that Coach Barker would deal with some of the girls, and I've definitely been learning a lot in that aspect and just changing my sights on. I'm also now the leader of these girls, and I have to also carry myself in a different way, and somebody that they can kind of look up to and trust, and kind of put all of their efforts in that we're going to take it and win it at the end of the season. That is our biggest goal.
Right. Now, we won't reveal your age because never tell a lady's age, right? But it's obvious that your age gap is not that large. Do you see that as a plus or minus when it comes to the leadership role of handling your team?
When it comes to the age, I don't see that as a plus or minus. Maybe a little bit on the plus side, just because I might be able to relate to the girls just a little bit more, but also I don't really see it as being a big change. As long as I'm somebody that can provide them with whatever they need to become better players and hopefully just better whenever they move on from Texas Southern, that's really my biggest concern, in making sure that they are able to learn something and carry something on from when they move on from Texas Southern.
Okay, very good. Now, let's get into the actual schedule itself. Of course, February is the imaginary time that we like to get baseball and softball off the ground, but 9 times out of 10, the weather is miserable, and you kind of stumble your way until March, and March gets a little bit better. Then you really start spreading your wings in April and May, and before you know it, the season is over with. So when you go on about getting your games scheduled, what are some of the things that you're looking for as far as the competition level, and how do you make the preparations with the challenges that you don't really have a field on campus to get your team ready?
Well, definitely preseason is definitely a struggle with the weather. I mean, as this weekend, we're kind of dealing with that issue right now. But in preseason, it's always we always try to schedule a little more higher competition, so that way by the time we get to SWAC, our girls are more than ready to start, and they're more than confident once they step on the field to start our conference games. But when it comes to practices and kind of working in that situation, we unfortunately don't have our own field, but we have also been a program, and definitely Coach Barker has kind of harped on it too with the girls, is that it's something that's not going to hold us back and something that we're not going to complain about. We're going to still get our work in and use our cages when we can on the campus. And luckily the school is very open in helping us, so we're able to kind of work around and do what we need to do at the school whenever we do get rainouts. But it's not something that our girls are going to complain about. It's something that they are more than willing to work through, and do whatever they need to do to be prepared for our first game.
Very good. And when it comes to recruiting, Coach, you have to find a student athlete who's going to be pretty special, I would have to believe. Someone who is going to be understanding of the situation of the field. Someone who's going to be understanding about the nature that you might have to do things a little bit different, but you're still going to play at a high level. Do you find that player harder and harder to find in these days?
A little bit, just because we don't have the field to offer them, and a lot of the schools do. But also on the opposite side, whenever brought kids on visits in the past, we stress academics. They're going to come and graduate, and that's a lot of kids' number one thing, because softball is a temporary thing for majority of girls, and making sure they get their education is number one. And at Texas Southern, that's at the top of our list, is making sure they graduate. And also we express that we've won in the past, and a winning record definitely helps in our culture. Just a lot of the kids that come on a visit just fall in love, and they know that they're going to have a good time and have fun, but also get an education and hopefully win championships when they come here.
Very good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we have presented to some and introduced to others, the new lady in charge, let us say the Queen Tiger, none other than Miss Raven Rodriguez. And, Coach, we have a custom here at the open mic that we allow our guests to have some closing thoughts and comments, and the floor is now yours, ma'am.
Well, I just want to definitely thank Texas Southern for bringing me on. I'm very excited, and I'm looking forward to the season and working with our girls and getting a season started.
Very well stated, ma'am, and we look forward to hearing and seeing the Lady Tigers continue their excellence on the diamond. I have to be honest with you. There's only one time where I'm kind of pulling against you. Only one time, and I think you might know what that would be. But not in a bad way, just in a spirit of competition. But we do wish you the much luck and success, not only for this season, but for many seasons to come, okay?
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Raven Rodriguez of the Lady Tigers at Texas Southern. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. The time has come where I must exit stage left, but until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.